So readers, today I want to try some of the progression work that we talked about on our in our Read Aloud Penguins by Bobby Kalman. And so one of the things I want to do first is I want to look at the title of the book. It's Penguins. And I want to really notice some details about the cover. So I think that this is a mom penguin or a dad penguin, and this is her baby penguin, and she's looking down like she's really taking care of that baby. The next thing I want to do is I want to flip to the back of the book. I don't see a blurb, so it's not giving me any more information. But again, I want to study the picture or the illustration, if I should say. And it looks like two baby penguins, and one is kind of looking up and one's looking down. So I'm going to turn to the book, inside the book, and again, here it says penguins. I see a bunch of penguins. And one of important text feature is the table of contents. The table of contents is important because it tells us usually what are some things we might be learning in this book, and it gives us an idea also of where I can find that in the page, because we know in nonfiction books, we don't read them like fiction books. Like, we don't read it cover to cover. We kind of scan and say, okay, today I think I want to learn more about mating. So I can just dip into page 24 and then I can find page 24 and it will teach me more about mating. I'm going to flip to that page and there it is. And then that will give me more information about that subtopic mating. So let's take a look at this table of contents. What are penguins? Many penguins. The family tree, a penguin's bodies, penguins' home, hunters and hunted, in the water, moving on land. So as I read the table of contents, I think this book is really going to teach me a lot of information about penguins, and more specifically, a lot of subtopics. So I'm going to just flip through some of the pages. And as I flip through some of the pages, I'm noticing it's using a lot of different text features like headings. It's using bolded words. It's using pictures, and then sometimes it's using illustrations. Not noticing any captions. So I think that this book is a nonfiction book, of course, and it's an expository book. It's not a narrative nonfiction or a biography. So if I'm reading an expository book, I really want to make sure I'm getting my mind ready to do that work that a reader does in expository books. And that's really finding the main idea, or thinking about text structure, or thinking about how I can go to many different penguin books and read more about one subtopic and synthesize or combine that information together. And lastly, I know I'm probably going to learn a lot of new vocabulary words that are specific to the topic I'm reading about, right? So I'm going to do a lot of work learning some new vocabulary words. So far what I did is I looked at the text features. I previewed the book. I know I'm going to be reading an expository book. So now I want to look and say, well, what are some major subtopics about penguins that I think that this book is going to teach me? So I'm going to dip into the book, and I think I'm going to look into that first chapter, what are penguins, right? And I'm going to say, okay, well, let's take a look at this page. What are penguins? Penguins may not look like other birds, but they are birds. Like all birds, penguins are covered with feathers. They are warm-blooded, which means their body stays the same temperature no matter how warm or cold their surroundings are. So the author comes right out and tells me what this word means here. All birds, including penguins, hatch from eggs. And I'm going to study this, and it looks like penguins are warm-blooded, which means their body temperature stays the same, even though it really looks like they live in places that are very cold. So I'm wondering how they do that. And here they are on the ice, and they look like they're hopping around. So I'm going to go back to that table of contents, and I'm going to look and say, okay, well, another subtopic that this book might be teaching me more about is more about penguins' bodies. And I'm noticing here, this is a picture of a penguin, and there's some text boxes, and in each text box it gives me some more information about their body. Penguins have a very poor sense of smell. A penguin uses its razor-sharp beak to fight off enemies. Scientists think that penguins can better underwater than they can be on land. A penguin has fleshy spikes on its tongue and inside its mouth to help it hold onto its slippery food. A penguin's smooth, streamlined body helps it travel quickly through the water. I'm not really sure what this word means yet, but something to do with the way their body is shaped. Most birds have hollow bones to help them fly, but a penguin has solid bones that allow it to dive into the water. So this is making me think that maybe penguins don't fly. And millions of years ago, a penguin's flippers were wings, but they're not shaped like paddles. They are now shaped like paddles for swimming. So do you see how I'm getting my mind ready to predict some of the things I might be learning about? And each time I'll flip to there and I can read it and learn more about subtopics. So this is the thing when we're doing a read aloud, right? It's kind of like, or think of it as an umbrella. And in this umbrella, we have our main topic, and our main topic here is penguins. And then we're predicting some things that we might be learning about. So just from reading today, I think I'm going to be learning about penguins' bodies. I think I'm also going to be learning about another subtopic, penguins' homes. Another subtopic, what are penguins? And let's take a look. What's another subtopic do you think we're going to be learning more about? So choose another subtopic that you think you're going to be learning more about. Oh, did you choose maybe something like baby penguins or hunters and hunted, maybe like what they eat and who eats them? So now that we've oriented ourselves to the text, we know here's our topic, and we're predicting some subtopics that we might be learning about. So that's today's read aloud, but I will see you soon.